much for being here and for visiting my channel and for letting me read for you. It's an honor, so thank you very much. We are doing a reading for, is this love or obsession? So we are going to reveal, whether you are actually in love or obsessed, or maybe it'll show that someone feels one of those two things towards you, but it should be insightful. So I really look forward to reading for you. I have different crystal cards, and honestly, the names are on the back of each card and I don't remember them, but I am going to zoom in and you can have a good look at them. And really it's just about picking one of these 4 cards that really speaks to you. So this is going to be pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. So go ahead and just pick the card that looks the most whatever eye-catching to you, and that's your pile, that's your reading, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for watching my channel. It means so much to me. So yes, I want to thank you for that. We are here doing a reading for, is this love or obsession? This is pile 1, and you picked, actually it is magnesite, and it's, I guess, like a cluster of magnesium carbonate, which doesn't mean anything to me, but it looks like, I don't know, like a tooth or something. I like this, and I like this reading. I think this is going to go in a very kind of funky direction. I'm excited for what we're going to reveal here. So first, I do want to see you, and I want to see you with some tarot, and then we're going to just flank it with a bunch of oracle. But I do usually like to start out with some tarot. So let me see you in just 3 cards, and it helps me kind of understand like why you're here and what brought you here. So we've got the 5 of Cups, King of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. So if the topic is, or not if, the topic is this love or obsession? I see the 5 of Cups is always, it's just loss. That's what it is. King of Wands, I mean, that's a good, strong card of action. And the Ace of Pentacles is new potential. And this is like a new potential that could possibly come to you. Okay. And the loss to me is pretty clear, but then the question of like, what's this action? What's this potential? I'm going to have to get a little more tarot here to kind of see you in your situation, but I will absolutely get a clear picture and we'll get a better idea of what's going on here for you. So, okay, the 10 of Cups is good. We've got the 6 of Wands and Judgment. Okay, so I want to know if the question is, is the question, are you in love or obsessed, or is this person actually in love or obsessed with you? And looking at this, I think the question is, are they in love or just obsessed with you? And I'm getting this because when I see the loss here, and the loss, I didn't really feel it for you. I'm sure you have loss in your life, but to me, I just feel like your partner has experienced some kind of sadness, which is fine. We all have, but anyway, I'm getting that vibe from your partner, which would make me think that maybe in you, they saw this, like, this new excitement, this project, this thing to be a part of, this new thing to kind of glom onto and try to make something of. And I actually get the feeling that your partner is kind of, they're intense, and I think they ask a lot of you. I think they want a lot from you, and I almost think that they, I think they're, I don't know why I'm thinking they're obsessed with you, but let's find out if it's love or not. But I just feel like your partner is the kind of person that if you guys were alone together at night, they would instantly turn the topic to like relationship or where things are going or what the future might look like, which doesn't seem typical. In most cases, I feel like this is a woman inquiring about a man, but that it doesn't have to be the case. But generally speaking, you don't really picture men pushing for this kind of a topic. But for whatever reason, I think they are like afraid to lose you or afraid to lose someone or anyone or anything at this point, which might make it feel like it might make it feel like they're with you for the wrong reasons. I have no idea if they are, and we're going to get into like whether or not they really are in love with you, or if this is just this kind of obsession, this need to be like with you and to just, because I do see that they with this 10 of Cups, I'm sure that they would love to make this life with you. I'm sure that they see you as this person who could be everything they ever wanted. And maybe you guys really could have something beautiful. I'm not at all coming in strong saying that you can't, but I do feel that your person is very much looking for something, and that you do kind of check all those boxes. And I get this a lot in my readings. It's not uncommon to like, for someone to be with someone mainly because they do appear to check the boxes. And then from there you have to figure out, like, is this love? Where are we really going with this? Like, what are we actually doing here? But I want to see you actually in a card, and I want to see your partner in a card, and then I'm going to get some more details of your relationship to figure out where we're at as far as love or obsession, and what this dynamic kind of looks like. So we've got music and joy, and I do see this actually for you. This is you, and we've got your partner here as Earth. Okay, so the music and joy for you, I do think you're quite happy. And initially when I put these cards out, I wasn't really getting this overwhelming sense of happiness from you. But when I look at this and then I see this as your partner, I think you guys might be doing better together than I initially thought. There might be a stronger bond and more like love between you guys than I thought initially, because I was more consumed with the question of like, are they with you, for the right reasons? Do they love you, or are they just like clinging? And I do see a bit of clinging, and I use the term glomming on. I do feel like they kind of almost attached themselves to you in a fairly quick time frame, but that doesn't mean that they're not like in it for the right reasons and that they actually don't love you. But I do think that you make your person feel very whole. You make them feel like a provider. You make them feel like they can care for you. I see that I think they feel very complete and very whole when they're with you. And quite frankly, I think they feel like they're home. And that is the word on this card, but I do get that feeling. And I also think you kind of excite them. I'm sure full turn cards over will find that you ignite this kind of almost creative energy in them, or an ability to like want to provide. Like they want to start a home with you. They want to buy a home with you, start a family, get pets, like, I don't know, plant a garden or whatever. Like, I just get this feeling that they want to go through more things, more phases. And this might have you asking like, oh my goodness, is this real? Because it could maybe be too good to be true in some ways. Like this person seems to be moving pretty quickly. But no, I see you guys together as being quite a bit happier and like just more settled in your own little routines together than I would have initially given you credit for. And the 5 of Cups for your person, although of course we've all had pain, so it's the easiest card to be like, oh, I see that there's like pain or loss for your person. I will say this, I don't think they dwell on this. I don't even know if this is something you knew about them right away, or if you did know about it. I don't think this is like a conversation you had on your first night. It might have been something you just discovered, or something you've always known but it never gets talked about. In other words, like they're not advertising this pain. I don't think this is like how they define themselves, but it is there. And I don't know if this is like the loss of something tragic, of like the loss of family or parents or something truly horrific, or if it just is a relationship where they got burned and it was enough to make them feel pretty strongly about getting into a new relationship. But there is a part of their past that is, let's say, a little darker and more sad or tragic than yours, let's say. So that is real. And I do think that makes them, your person is probably, I think they're kind of deep. And I'm getting this from the Judgment card, because even though there isn't a whole lot here to make me think there's a ton of depth coming off of them, they are deep, and they're really looking at this relationship. They're scrutinizing it but in a good way, in the way that you would want someone that you really like and love to do. I don't think they're just scrutinizing you, or it's not like they're, analyzing you from like a material, or how you look or how you talk or how you act. That's not it. They're scrutinizing the details to see if you guys really are going to work together. So I do think this person really feels very, very strongly for you. And if I had to say like, is this love versus obsession, I would go and say, yes, this definitely leans infinitely more towards the love side of things. However, I do think there is a little bit of obsession. I think they're ever so slightly obsessed with how good you make them feel. They are kind of like almost like addicted to you in a way that I just think you've opened doors for them. You've shown them things. You've really opened their mind. You've made them feel like, let's put it this way. If you guys aren't together, I have a feeling you're going to be very hard for them to get over. And that's not your problem or anything you should feel like, guilty or like indebted to them for any reason. But I do think that you would be someone that they would really have a hard time replacing. Let's put it that way. But I don't know that it's going to come to that. You guys might be together for a while. But yeah, they're very much into you. So let me get, I'm gonna get 2 more tarot. I really enjoy the story of building something with tarot. I get pretty strong messages off my tarot. And I want to see your person, like, how they feel towards you. And I know they feel strongly towards you. I know it's very positive. I would go so far as to say they really love you, but like how deep is this love? Like what are we looking at here? How do they really feel towards you? And so we have Ace of Swords and, okay, so these are interesting cards. I mean, the swords they're mental clarity. They're kind of that really taking action as far as like your thoughts and your intentions and like laying the groundwork for how you're going to do things. So when I see the Ace of Swords, I do think like, okay, you're actively thinking, like your person is actively thinking how they can make things work with you. But the Nine of Swords is a card of like stress and nightmares and tension, and not so much tension, but it's kind of that anxiety ridden card. So I don't want to say you make them anxious or you make them stressed, because you don't. You clearly make them happy. That is the overwhelming thing. But I would say they probably have a fear of losing you. And I do think they're afraid to lose you. And if they're not expressing this to you, then it is there. But maybe this is is this love or obsession? Maybe this is subconsciously something you've been feeling, like that feeling like they just want to get their claws in you. But I don't see anything bad or controlling or definitely not malicious off this person. That's not the vibe I'm getting. They're just someone who is at a point in their life where they really know what they want. I don't think they're in it to just like dick around and hang out for a couple months. Like I think this person really sees a way they can like grow and work with you and make things happen. And I think if you were to leave them up to their own devices, this person would really like put your whole relationship in motion. They would create a kind of like a life plan for you guys. But maybe you are giving them a little resistance, a little pushback, which is fine. Maybe you are completely the brakes in this relationship and they're the gas. But this could cause them a little stress or anxiety. But that isn't entirely your problem. I mean, maybe there's conversations you can have to relieve their anxiety. But my gut feeling is this is just something they have to work through. This is their path and they have to work through it. And they found a lovely, lovely person to partner up with. And yeah, and then they just have to go through the steps of doing this properly without rushing you or pressuring you. And maybe you don't feel this way towards this person. Maybe you secretly want this relationship to end, and that's completely fine. This person will be fine. They are not your responsibility. If they want to like get married and have a ton of babies and you absolutely don't, that is totally fine. And then this would be the reading to somehow make you think like, okay, I've got to put an end to this because this is clearly someone who feels very strong towards me. They feel love towards me. So I'm going to, cut the cord now so that it's not 10 times worse and, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, whatever. But I'm just putting that out there. But my gut actually tells me that you came to this reading, you weren't thinking, is this love or obsession on their part? You were thinking about it on your part. And I'm just getting a strong read on them. So yeah, this is interesting. But I want to see you in 2 cards in this dynamic and kind of what you feel. And so we have the Eight of Wands, which is pretty good card. This card tells me that if you want this, you can have it, which you already know. But this is also a card that tells me you're pretty empowered. You definitely have the confidence, the strength, the tools, the ability to go all in with this or not, but I feel like you're just empowered somehow. You're not feeling like weak or controlled in any way. I think that you genuinely feel like you have all the tools you need to see this through and make this something beautiful, which I actually feel it could be. There's a definite possibility here for that. Although I do think your person needs a little bit of work. I think they need either someone that they can talk to. There's this part of them that I think when things go well for them, things go very well. And then when they don't, they could, it's almost like there's this manic piece to them, or this part that's like not actually bipolar, but like a little extreme in their personality. I could see that from your person, but honestly, we all have a piece of that. And anyone who has this, well, I'm going to make a blanket statement and say anyone who has this passion and this excitement, we all have a piece of a crazy chip. That's in all of us. So I don't want that to be a turnoff. I just want to say that, yes, I think your person can be intense, and I think they can play to these intensities, and sometimes it might consume them and sometimes it might not. I don't know. But anyway, I like your person. Okay. I really like them. And I think you really like them too. I really do. And then the four of Pentacles for me, I do think you see this as, I don't know, this card to me, it's a card of conservation. It's not necessarily a card of lack. It's a card of like kind of holding tight and like really figuring things out and really analyzing what you have and what you don't have. And I think this was the part of you that came to this reading in the first place. Like you're definitely, although you're very happy in this dynamic and your partner does make you very happy, and you're very much aware that you can turn this into something more real and quickly, you are taking everything, you're really sizing up the situation, because maybe you have concerns, maybe you know something about their past that could be difficult to deal with. Like I said, if there was like a downturn or an upturn, and I don't think your person's volatile, I just think they're very passionate. I think they're passionate. I think they're emotional. I think they could be any sign. They could be water, fire, whatever. All the signs have a part of them that can get kind of intense and crazy and whatever. But yeah, I I like you guys. I really do. I want to see if we, like, in a card to sum up kind of what this dynamic looks like in a word. And that's going to help kind of, is it love or obsession? Like, let's see what card turns over. If we ask, is it love or obsession? What does this look like? And so we've got snow, silence. I swear these same three cards came up in the last reading yesterday or the day before. And I just can't tell you how much I shuffled these decks. But anyway, okay, so this is really a card of silence, of stillness, of peace. And I like this because this lets me know that like there is this ability for you guys to, like all the fun, all the chaos, all the ups, there's this quiet, this stillness, and it's almost like where you strike a balance and this downtime that you kind of need. And I like that because if it was obsession, I feel like this card would have this like extreme like movement or energy to it. And this is very much, it's a lot quieter. And I like this. This does tell me, like, if you wanted to know if it's love or obsession, I would say, yes, this card makes me think of love. And I haven't played up to it I haven't played up to it at all, but I will say now, I do think there's a lot of passion between you guys. I actually think that this person you're with and asking about, they could be quite a catch. They could be very attractive. They could be like, socially accepted. They could have a lot of features that make them very desirable. Let's put it that way. And a lot of these things sound like very surface and, like superficial, but you know what I mean. There are people that just jump out at you, and they jump out at everyone for the same reasons. And I could see this being one of those people. But I do think you guys have a great flair together, and you're happy. I'm gonna get, so I haven't played with these cards in a while, but they're like quote cards, and I want to get a quote, a message from Spirit about your guys' dynamic, and just to like kind of help explain, because I do see this as being love. I feel like I answered that question, but I want you to see a little bit more about this as well. So let me get a message from Spirit about what she sees for your guys' dynamic here. And okay, so we're not going to look into this too much because this is say no. And I really want to take this card off the table because nothing here speaks to what you would say no for. However, this card's here, so we're going to acknowledge it. We asked for a message from Spirit. And I'm going to say this card is a message to you. There's something you're thinking about doing. Maybe you've been thinking about, maybe you're questioning something. Maybe you're unsure about something. Maybe you're playing like a scenario over in your head. There's something that's kind of not plaguing you, but I feel like it's just not a healthy thought process. And maybe it is. Maybe it's self-doubt. It's that feeling where you have said to yourself maybe 100 times, this seems too good to be true. When's the bottom going to fall out? And this is what I'm going to say that say no card pertains to. The say no card is something like just quiet, just say no whenever these thoughts come up for you. And I'm going to put 2 more tarot down to kind of back this up because, and that is interesting. There is a part, you might be the one, you might be the problem in this relationship because I'm seeing your person pretty clearly. You came here probably thinking if you're in love or obsessed, and it turned out to be about your partner. And so maybe you're the one who's bringing like all these questions and kind of fears and anxieties. Maybe your person is feeling anxieties because you're bringing this up. Maybe you're a little bit more emotionally unstable in this dynamic than you recognize, or maybe you do recognize that, and that's also why you're here. So I want to know, in 2 cards actually, because we've got this say no, which I'm going to put off to the side, but I want to know your thoughts and feelings on this dynamic. I want to know, are you in love? And I'm going to take obsession off of it because we know you feel very strongly for this person. I know there's passion. I know there's all these wonderful pieces that you'd want there, but I want to know if this is like, if you're in love or if you feel like you're in love. So I'm going to get 2 cards for that. And we've got the 8 of Pentacles and we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So Pentacles aren't generally about passion, but that's okay because they can absolutely be about like building a life and a foundation. And the 8 of Pentacles to me is someone who like looks back and thinks like, or not necessarily looks back, who's working on what they've built, who's taking care to build something. You know, like let's say there's already been a harvest and you've picked all your fruit and now you have to like, I don't know, package it and sell it or whatever. But it's like this love and this care given to this hard-earned thing. Horrible example. But that makes me think that you are now looking to really like care and kind of like nurture and take care of this, which makes me think, yes, there is love here. And maybe you're terrified to take it to that next step. Maybe this really is your fears and not your person's, because your person just seems like a normal guy who's been through something, has some emotions, is reflecting what you're feeling, and then there's some insecurities here. Like it's a very beautiful reading in that it just seems like everything's on target for where it should be. This is a very healthy beginning to a very exciting relationship. And then for the Queen of Pentacles, she is someone who is like very earth-loving, very nurturing. There can definitely be this like sensual, sexy kind of vibe that comes off of her, or it might not even a vibe, that's like her essence. She can be codependent, she can be needy, she can smother. But I think that if you're feeling these things, this desire to kind of care for this person, the way that you would care for your orchard or apple orchard or your apples that you've harvested all year or whatever, I think that's kind of how you're approaching this relationship right now. And that would make me think, yes, this is love. So I'm going to go so far. I'm going to be very bold and say that, yes, you guys are both in love or falling in love. I'm going to remove the obsession piece. I don't think it's here. And I think you have a very beautiful potential here, or potential. I don't know how far into it you are, but I could see that there's a lot here. And the just say no is quiet those thoughts. You might be bringing the crazy a little bit more than you realized, and just quiet that, like put a cap on that, because I don't think it serves anyone. And I do see it next to these 9 of Swords, which makes me think it's like a negative vibration that doesn't need to be here. And that's the question mark. That's what brought you here in the first place. So yeah, I'm going to stop the reading now. because I can say the same thing over and over again. I do that. But I hope you enjoyed this. I see it as very positive. I would love to hear your comments. If you liked this, I don't know, subscribe, share, like, do whatever you can that feels right. But really, thank you so much for being here and listening. I really appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Light and Bone Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you, and just for visiting my channel in the first place and clicking on this link. So thank you. We are here doing a reading for, is this love or obsession? So yes, it's an exciting topic to me. And this beautiful, it's called a Hiddenite. I'm not familiar with it. It's a new crystal deck. You can't see that at all, but it looks like there's like a hidden ocean within this like piece of jagged ice. It's just stunning. Okay, I want to know about you first. It always helps me to get like you, or get a snapshot and 3 cards of tarot to kind of see why you're here and what this is all about. So thinking about, is this love or obsession? I'm just going to get 3 cards to kind of understand you and your headset, and to figure out if this is love or obsession. So Temperance. Okay, the High Priestess and Knight of Swords. Okay, so I love the High Priestess. Temperance, Temperance is great. Knight of Swords, whatever. But the High Priestess is such mystery. There's such beauty there. There's such unknown, but like these secrets that you kind of know the answers to. You're sitting on all of it, but no one else knows. And Temperance to me is kind of this, like, it can be anything from, it's like striking that balance within yourself. What do you really need? And then the Knight of Swords is, it's this just card of rushing in. It's kind of over the top. It's hot and heavy. It's a little bit of everything. I think you really are trying to figure out if you're in love or obsessed. And I'll be honest, in these 3 cards, I think you rushed into something. I think you felt overwhelmingly strong for someone. I think you potentially love bombed someone. And now, if anything, you're like, this is all in 3 cards, so we will get a bigger picture on this. I might be wrong, but my gut tells me that you were so into this person in the beginning, and now you're probably like, oh, I don't even know if I'm really that into them. So I think in this moment, you probably aren't that into him. You were very, very much at one time. And it's almost like this feeling of like of being so crazy about someone and then not. It can happen overnight. It can literally happen in an hour. It can happen from the time you like walk from the bedroom to get your morning coffee and you're like, I don't know if I'm still like butt crazy in love with that person. It's a funny thing when it happens. And I really feel like this is where you're at right now. And the funny, like, is it love or obsession? We could just as easily say, is it love or am I over it? Is it love or am I too scared? Am I running because I don't like this person, or because I'm really just not into them? Like, I really think that's the question here. But I do think there's a lot of passion. Let's get a little bit more. That's my theory going into this. And I want to see you in 2 cards, and I want to see your partner in 2 cards, and then we're going to get a little bit more of a dynamic, because this is funny. So you in 2 cards, I'm going to do Queen of Cups and Page of Wands. Okay, and then your partner in 2 cards, 3 of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so I have to address the 3 of Swords first, because it's just the most, I don't know what you want to call it, tragic, sad, interesting, exciting, whatever. But this is really the card of heartbreak. And I really think your person feels this. I think for whatever reason, they're like, oh shit, I've lost them. In other words, maybe you weren't in love. Maybe it really was like an obsession. And by obsession, in this case, I think it was just like, yeah, you were kind of addicted to them for a hot minute. That could have been 1 week, 1 month, half a year, who knows? But there was that, and I'm going to say that time has passed for you. I do want to say your partner feels this, and I do think that it's made them a little like they want to solve this problem. They want to figure it out. Now I think they're doing all the things that like I'm not saying they should have done it before, because I don't think you fell out of love with them because they didn't give you what you wanted. I think you just were on this kind of like chemical induced high with them, and it fades. Like the dopamine or whatever, like it doesn't come kicking out as quickly and as efficiently as it did in the beginning of the relationship. And I just kind of think that's where you're at. But I think your person feels it, and they would definitely, I almost feel like they're acting like a little bit of a little bitch right now because of it. They are needy, they're clingy, kind of like the negative part of the Queen of Wands, which can be this almost like overbearing house mom personality. I feel like that's them. They're just trying so hard. They're like scampering. They're trying to figure it out. I don't know. Whereas you right now I think if anything, you're about to feel very liberated. I think the fact that I think you're sad that you've reached this point, because it is sad. It's sad to realize like this is past. I don't feel it anymore. It's gone. However, once you hit that, you're so done that you're like, okay, well now I know what I want, or now I know what I need. Now I just have to like do it. And then there's this new excitement in being like, okay, well now I'm excited about the new thing I'm going to do, which is leave this person or reframe it or whatever. Like, so I feel like you are kind of at this point where you're almost getting this hit of inspiration. You're feeling a lot. It's feeling good for you. You can probably picture all these things that you want to do now, how you want to do it. I would say, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but there might be a benefit of like sitting on this for a minute. And by a minute, I mean a day or a couple days, whatever amount of time feels right, to really make sure that like you are indeed over this person, or you don't want to try and see if, if you really do feel more for them than you do in this moment. Because who knows, it could be some random hormonal burst or deficit and you're just feeling something kind of funky. But there is a chance that you do this a lot in your relationships. And like you might be, a heartbreaker of sorts. I'm not sure. But and I don't even know what led me to think this, but it is definitely the feeling I'm getting. So there is this love or obsession for you. Sadly, it could probably turn into love, but you would have to work at it in a way that I don't know if you're here to do that, which makes it feel like, yeah, you were obsessed with this person. You were somewhat addicted to them. You were so into them. Yeah, like that crazy amped up feeling. And now it's just kind of, fizzled possibly. But I'm going to see if there's more there, because who knows, maybe, I don't know how you operate, but maybe in, like I said, 24 hours or a couple days, you could get back to feeling a little bit more. I don't know that this is like the end of it. And maybe even watching this reading will help you realize, like, if this is something you always do, just give it a shot to not do this time, or to take a step back and process. But I think your person's hurt, and if they keep acting the way they're acting, they are going to lose you. I get that feeling. Okay, let me see the current state of your dynamic right now. And we're going to kind of help see like a little bit about this love or obsession. And, maybe I'll be surprised by what I see, but let's see the current state of your guys's dynamic. So we have the Emperor, Six of Wands, and the Tower. So the Tower, yes, I think things are changing. I think things are, crashing and burning almost. If they're not, there is it's close to it. I do think you're holding all the cards right now, and I do think your person is at a place where they're kind of like worshiping you. They are turning it up. They're so into you right now. They would do anything not to lose you. They can feel that they are, and they don't want to. But I want to find out a little bit more. Like, I don't want to get into necessarily why you're doing this, but like, could this be love? Let's ask that. Like, could this be love for you? Like, is there a chance that, maybe you're freaking out. Maybe you don't want to be running away, and maybe you really do love this person. And although it came on strong and it felt like every other relationship, or it felt like an addiction or an obsession, maybe it really is love, and there is a chance for that. And that's, I guess, what I want to point out. And your person, they really care for you. I can't see, I'm seeing so much about you. All I see from them is that they're hurt, but we could say that they're like, their heart's broken. We could say they feel so many things and it's not good. So I could lead that into the fact that yes, they probably do love you, or they're falling in love with you, or they feel feelings of love towards you, and this is very, very hard on them, and it is making them act a little much. But you know what, that's okay, because a broken heart, you definitely have an excuse for that. And if their heart isn't broken yet, if they haven't lost you yet, they can sense it. There's more to this person. They definitely have some depth that maybe you're not giving them the credit for right now. But yeah, there's probably more to them than you realize. And I like how they're treating you right now, even though they might be acting a little bit silly. I do think they're letting you know all the things they love about you. They also are doing things right in this moment. And I think you've been a bit much to deal with. I think you've been a bit of a tyrant. I see you as the emperor, and I don't see that you're like this balanced emperor. I see that you're kind of like, if anything, I think you don't want to hurt anyone. There's no part of you that wants to hurt anyone. And I feel that with the temperance, like you're really trying to do the right thing. You're really trying to figure yourself out. This is your journey. You are trying to figure yourself out. And I think with this relationship, you're either going to stay with them and you're going to see this new kind of like path for yourself, and you're going to be like, wow, I really kind of matured in this, and I kind of stuck it out, even though that doesn't sound sexy, but I don't know that relationships really are all that sexy always, all the time. So maybe you're just working through a phase that isn't necessarily sexy, and it could work out to be very nice. So I don't know if I went too off on a tangent there, but I said the word sexy too many times and just lost myself. Okay, I want to see you in this dynamic, and I want to see your partner in this dynamic, and see if this helps for you. Is this love or obsession? And yeah, we're going to stick with the love or obsession, but I want to see you to try to understand where you're at right now. And I turned it over and I didn't mean to do that. But watch, we'll probably get that card anyway. Okay, so we've got your alchemy magic, all right, and your partner, I want to see where they are. Okay, purity, ice. So it is your world right now. It is your show, and everyone kind of knows it. And that's not bad. I do feel like this could get old fast. It's not forever that this isn't going to be tolerated forever, but you are definitely entitled to a time of really trying to figure out what you want and what you need, and if you're that into this person, and then what these feelings really are and where you should go from here. But again, you aren't trying to hurt anyone, and I see this with this temperance card, and I'm going to bring it up again here in this. I do feel like you're trying very, very hard to do the right thing. This is a quest of your own growth. You are you're just growing right now. You're maturing, you're evolving, you're really, really trying to figure out how you feel about this person. And for you, you might be turning yourself off to this person out of fear, because maybe it really is love, and you are so terrified that you're, kind of self-sabotaging. So there's absolutely a potential for that. And I might even see more of that as these cards go on. Initially I thought, okay, yes, you love bombed and then you're not feeling it anymore, but I think there might be more to it. And I think there might be more to it on your part, where there's this kind of you're just searching for some answers. And I don't know that it has a whole lot to do with your relationship. I think it probably has more to do with you and what you want and what you need right now. But this relationship could be a very good, healthy thing for you. And again, maybe you take just the little bit of time you need to kind of see it from just a little bit of a distance. That might be good, but you are empowered right now, and you definitely are figuring things out. And I think the answers are going to come to you. Continue to do the right thing, really do the right thing. Very much live by the golden rule here, but figure out what you want and need. So I can see this for you, and for your person. Yeah, I think they're literally lying in wait. I don't think they're incredibly happy, but I don't think they're depressed either. I think they're waiting. Sure, their heart hurts, and it could very well be broken, or it could very well be, shattered into a million pieces if you leave them. That's fine. They'll survive. They're strong. They're capable. They will be just fine. But I do think that they're waiting. They're waiting for their answers. They are, waiting for your kiss to wake them up and revive them, or for you to say goodbye. I just kind of feel like that's it. And I like that they are giving you this space. And yes, I do think they showed some energy to you or some attitude or whatever that made you think like, oh my gosh, please tell me this is not what I'd be in for if I like dated them long term or seriously committed or married them or whatever. But I don't think that's really them. I think they just got really kind of crazy for a minute, because you're throwing some different things at them. You've kind of kept them in the dark, and I think you're hot and cold, and like I really think, but I will cut you slack because I do think you're trying to figure some things out for yourself, and as you should. And I don't think you're far away from doing that. So this is exciting. We're gonna get a word from Spirit. I have these quote cards. I'm not going to use that one. And it's going to be kind of like Spirit's message to you, and we will interpret her message to you. And kind of, I would say, if you want this to work, this is going to be the message, or if you want to like leave with grace, this is going to be a message. But I just think we'll know where this is headed when we turn this card over, or not, or we'll turn it over and be lost. But okay, make no judgments. So if this is Spirit's message to you, to make no judgments, I almost feel like this is don't be hasty. Like really analyze the situation. Don't act on prior like knee-jerk reactions. Because when I think of like someone who judges, I think of someone who doesn't necessarily have all the information. It's like a quick, like stubborn, well, I've always done it this way, so this is how I do it. I don't like these people because of this. I don't care to learn any more about it. Like, it's just a very like almost blocked out, ignorant, like I feel like if there's a judgment going on, there's an ignorance behind it. And so I would say this is a message to kind of like, you know, educate yourself, figure out why you're feeling what you're feeling, really size up the situation and be very analytical in a way that maybe you haven't before. So maybe like, and that isn't sexy. That's not a sexy approach to a relationship. But if you're going to take some time, and like we said, it could be hours, a day, a week, whatever, take that time to really figure out what it is you want or need and why you're feeling this way. And I do think the Judgment card is like, don't be hasty. The Knight of Swords is hasty. I think you got yourself into this kind of amplified situation because things were so over the top in the beginning, and maybe you drove that, and then you retreated, and then your person didn't know what the hell was going on, and then you tried to be so good and you were killing them with kindness while never making out with them or something. I don't know. I feel like there's this kind of craziness that's been happening, this mix of everything, and I just want you now to take the time and not do something just because it's what you've always done in the past. Let's put it that way. And then I'm going to put, I want to see in a card, like if you guys were to stay together, if you were to make this work, what would your relationship look like in a card? And we're not going to put, you know, this is fun. If this card is something awful, I don't want that to shape anything for you, but let's just see what we get here, and let's just see what your relationship in a card would be. And so we have Comfort and Hearth, and this is a nice card. It does tell me that you guys could probably have a very loving, happy, this is a card that makes me feel like safe. There's just this vulnerability, there's this comfort, there's this very much like being at your place in peace. So yeah, this is a really, really beautiful card. So that's if you really decided this was right for you, and that you could get out of this little like mindfuck situation that you're in and feel more, and kind of abandon the fact that maybe you did like jump in way too quickly and things were way too much in a certain amount of time, and just kind of like set the course right, kind of course correct and take things at the proper pace and time. I think you guys could have a really lovely relationship. So yes, I think there's love here on both of your parts. Absolutely. There are definitely parts of love here. And you could really like make more of it, or you could take a step back. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I always love to hear thoughts or comments. Please let me know, subscribe, like, do whatever feels good. And please come back to my channel and listen to some more tarot. So thank you so much. I hope you're good. Goodbye. Light and Bone Tarot, welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for, is this love or obsession? And yes, we're going to find out, is this your part or their part? Is one of you loved or obsessed? We'll see what this is all about. And you picked this beautiful red cluster, Astrophyllite. These are my new crystal cards, and they really are beautiful. I don't know what to say for this. It looks like, oh, I think it's iron and like magnesium. Anyway, it's very rare apparently. Okay, here we go. I want to see you in 3 cards. Yeah, I want to know why you're here. It always helps me to do this, and yeah, I enjoy it. So what brought you here asking, is this love or obsession? Let me help see the situation. So 6 of Swords, 7 of Cups, and okay, 8 of Pentacles. So okay, I feel like I got a pretty decent message off of this. I think, okay, I think you've met someone that you thought would be the answer to all your problems. I think that you thought that this person was everything you could ever want, just the epitome, and that they would, make you very happy. You guys would have this great relationship. And I'm not saying any of that is not accurate or off the table, but what I think is that when you met this person, you allowed yourself to fall very deeply for them. And now that I think you're probably very into this person right now. And I think you're asking, is this love or obsession? Because you yourself want to know, like, am I really in love with this person? Is it worth pursuing this? Or am I just obsessed? And if that's the case, then you can, in either way, you can get over it or move on. But my gut tells me you're in a situation where you really, really, really like someone, and you almost want to get over them, or you almost feel like you need to move on. And hearing that this is obsession is going to help. And we'll find out. And I will say, if this card reveals that it's love, then it would likely only reveal that if I got a message that your person really, is in it for love and loves you in return. If this is someone that is just out for a good time or literally too good to be true, that probably will show up in the cards as well, in which case I would say, like, yeah, this is obsession and you can get over this and move on. But I don't know, there's something to make me think that you've allowed yourself to really feel something for this person, and I don't know that they've either deserve it or what. But yeah, that's the message I'm getting. So I actually want to see you and your partner in a couple cards, but I'm going to see your partner in some cards, because I feel like, I know this person. Let's put it that way. Not personally, obviously, but you know what I mean. Okay, so Ace of Swords and 7 of Wands. So I think your partner is a bit of an opportunist. I think that they can literally go after just about anything, and they will find a way to make something in it for them. I'm not necessarily talking about you or your relationship at all, but I'm saying in general, I think your person can either spin a story to make things always look like things turn up rosy for them. I think they're an opportunist, and it's not to say they're not smart. It's not to say they don't make great money or they aren't actually a good, honest person, but there's something about them that's just a little slick. I think they're slick. And I'm going to get 2 more cards about them, because there's, I'm going to tell you, and I've done readings before where I always come out hating the other person. And by the end of it, I'm like, oh, wait, I was wrong. I actually do like them. And I read this wrong. And there's totally a chance for that. So I am going to dive into who they are, but just bear with me. I'm not saying that they're like a total piece of shit right away. Let's find out a little bit about them. But my vibe is that you put them on a pedestal, you fell for them, you became obsessed with them, and now you probably want to get over them. And hearing that, yeah, again, I'm repeating it, but hearing that it's an obsession would make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so let's see 2 more cards about your person, Justice and... Okay, so I do think they work hard. I don't think they're a bad person. I like the Justice card. But again, I do think that they know how to manipulate situations. They know how to make things work for themselves. So could they be a lawyer? Sure. Could they be some fancy business person, someone with a job where like people really do need to know how they're like, people relying on them for how their brain works? Yes, I think this person has a little bit of like power or clout to them. And relatively speaking, they could be the manager of a McDonald's, but like it's someone who has the answers, someone who is one of the smartest people in the room. Your person has something. So I get why you fell for them. Absolutely. And I also get that. I do think from a financial standpoint, I think they have some stuff going on, whether they're just building wealth, whether they're like super motivated and they're like on this like definite track to make money. There's something there to make me think like there always a feeling of security if you were with them. Like they could provide, they could give you this, they could take you places, or anything from eating at restaurants that you wouldn't normally eat at to, planning vacations that you wouldn't normally plan, this kind of thing. I think this was the life you had with this person. And that's exciting and that's great. So, but now I want to see you in a couple cards. So we've got the Magician and the Hierophant. It's funny to have two majors come up. Okay, so you're quite crafty in your own right. You aren't like a bump on a log that's totally helpless, and you aren't totally innocent in this situation either. So you might have really worked hard to win this person over, or you might have really shown them like the very best side of you. So you're not innocent in this. If you're in a situation right now where you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like I've found this person that I thought was my everything, or was going to answer all my questions and be everything I needed. You're not totally innocent here. You allowed for this to happen. You almost like mastermind this. I could go so far as to say that. And the Hierophant card in reference to this is interesting. I can't quite place it. Usually when I see the Hierophant, I think that it's like there's been input. You've either, you've asked for input. I don't know that you have asked for input on this. I think you have taken information that you've collected over the years, decades, whatever, and you've applied it to this relationship. I really think that I almost feel like you mastermind this whole thing. And I can't explain that, but like, I get this feeling like when you met this person, you were like, this is my person. Like I could make this work. I want to be with this person. They're great on paper. They've got this, they check this box, and you became pretty obsessed with them, or maybe you fell in love with them, but it happened quickly. And now the question is like, what do you do now? Like, because I don't think your person's bad. I think they're busy. I think they're focused on their own end game more than this relationship. I definitely get that feeling. In fact, I don't see a lot of focus on this relationship coming off your person. So maybe you're the one that's like making all the dates and making everything happen and showing up to their house with like a bottle of wine, or so, maybe you're doing all that and they're just kind of like, okay, sweet. Like I can afford to take her to a nice dinner. I can afford to do this, so I'll do it, but who knows where their head's actually at. But I just don't think they've done anything that you didn't want or ask for or kind of orchestrate. So I don't want to get too carried away, and I don't want to make you feel like you have done anything wrong necessarily at all. That's not the point. I'm not like shaming you or blaming you, but I get this situation so well, and I really understand this dynamic. And if I'm accurate about where you are, I understand it and I get it. So I just want to be able to help you and make you the happiest in this situation. Okay, enough. Let me get. I want to see your guys' relationship in a few cards. So we've got the Queen of Cups and we've got the 8 of Wands, and then I'm going to do the Emperor. Okay. So is this, you can't even see the Emperor. I'm going to put it here. Okay. So Queen of Cups, yes, I think that you definitely have, think you feel strongly about this. I do think you have a lot of emotion about this. I don't know that you've shown this person that much emotion. I almost feel like this has been, and I might be repeating myself, but it's like you're playing a part here. You're orchestrating something that is playing out exactly as you want it to, but somewhere along the way, what you've lacked is the real emotion. I don't know that you've actually shown the real emotion here. And now it's like, what do you do in this space that's left right now? Like, where do you go with this person that it's almost like this relationship's been kind of false? I don't know. I can't understand it. Or the thing is, I feel like I do understand it, but okay. Is this love or obsession? And then I asked a little bit about your guys' relationship here. And then we've got the Emperor. Oddly enough, I think you're the Emperor because I really do think you're the one calling the shots. I really think like you're the shot caller in this relationship. You are the one that, you're the gas, actually. You're not the brakes. You're driving this. Your person's absolutely along for the ride. And to be honest, they may love you. They may be bat crazy in love with you. I haven't really asked that yet, but I'm seeing you as this person who wanted this to work so bad. And now that it looks like it is kind of working, you almost don't know what to do with it because you now don't know. We need to find out really what your partner feels, and it will really help. I think it'll help you figure out, look, are you actually in love? If they love you, do you love them? If they don't love you, do you love them? Or are you just in this game that you've become kind of obsessed with, and it's been fun to manipulate and pull the cords, but really like what's going on here? And it doesn't help that, yes, there was the initial, like, this person's great on paper. They could actually make you very happy from certain aspects, and maybe all aspects, but there are definitely certain aspects where like this could work out very, very nicely. Okay, I want to see who you are in this relationship, or your partner. I want to see how they see you. This is slightly different. And then I want to see how you see them. And I have a gut feeling that they're going to see you as almost like, I don't want to say emotionless, but I think they're going to see you as someone who's like very much in control and almost cold. And I think you're going to see them as like a god. I don't know. Okay, let's see. How do they see you? That's thunder. Interesting. Okay, and how do you see them? Okay, so they see you, we've got speaking your word voice. So this is not emotionless. But again, this could be, like I said, the shot caller. They could see you as kind of like, you're the one that speaks up. You're the driver here. You're the one that says what you want. You're the one that kind of sets the tone, the pace. I don't know that they see you as like being, let's say, in love with them. And the more I read about this, I am getting that feeling. And I always, so to go back when I said how, yes, things change about people, I don't dislike your person at all, actually. I don't think they can get a clear read on you. I think they almost want to know if you're into them for the right reasons. They're being very guarded with how they feel towards you because, yes, maybe they do have a lot to offer. Maybe they are, the biggest catch within 10 miles or like whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like, maybe they really are, they're protecting themselves because they don't know exactly what you see in them. And maybe that's because you've been playing a game that hasn't really allowed yourself to open up. Something about the Queen of Cups card lets me think that you've been so controlled. Like, this Emperor card is, you're so controlled, you're so confident in a way that you've lost like who you really are in this. What do you really want? What do you really want to take away from this? And I think you just need to get back to figuring out like what it is you really want, how you feel about this person, and then you can determine if this is love or obsession. And then it can help you figure out how they feel about you as well. So yes, I do think they see you as like the one who speaks up, the driver, the one who has the, if things are going great, it's probably because you've had a great week. If things are going shitty, it's because you've had a shitty week. Or I just see it kind of revolving around you. Okay. And then you see them So this, to me, the depth, the lake, it is, they're almost like this secret, this mystery, this kind of beautiful, quiet mystery. Even though you know certain things about them, you know the things you like about them, you know the things you are attracted to, I still think that there's this like je ne sais quoi factor to them that you really are probably a bit obsessed with. So yes, I do like that there is a little bit of obsession off of you. You do feel something for this person. You aren't emotionless. In other words, this whole thing hasn't just been a well-orchestrated game. You really, I do think you like them. And I think you really can love them too. I just want to know, like, is it the right person for you? And could they or do they love you back? I would say I am getting the feeling that there's a little bit of love on your part towards them. I really do think you love them. Yes, the obsession was absolutely there. You were in it for, I'm not going to say entirely the wrong reasons, but there was a time where you might have been in it for the wrong reasons. And now you're really trying to sit back and figure out how you feel, because you felt a lot and you wanted a lot from this person and you wanted it quickly, and you wanted the things that were probably like the sparkle and the glitter and the gold, and it kind of got to you a little bit. So, and I want this to work out for you, because I do think this person can show you things. I do think there is a better life with this partner. Things could be really, you guys could make each other very happy. I see a potential for that. I'm going to get some input from Spirit. Let's get some guiding words from Spirit about this connection, and just for you to understand, like, is this love or is this an obsession? And really with that question, like, do you want to move on and get over them, or do you want to like kind of dig your heels in and really make something of this? So what does Spirit have to say for you? Be patient. I'll tell you, of her last two messages, this is definitely the best one, the most positive. I like be patient, because it tells me that you need to sit and think on this. In other words, she's not giving you an answer right now, because I think this is really, there's a lot of maturing here for you. I think this is like growth, and it's a challenge that you need to go through on your own. You need to see this one through. And she's, Spirit's there for you. And I believe when the time comes, if you ask her a direct question, you'll get it. But right now, I really think you need to sit with this and figure out just what exactly you're feeling deep in your core about this person. And I want to get, there's thunder and my dog is probably not going to stop barking. I want to get, if you guys were together, okay, I want to see in 2 cards, if you were to like leave this person, let's say that we determined this was obsession, it was hot and heavy, and you need to leave it. I want to see what that would look like for you. And I want to see if you stayed in this relationship, what it would look like. And I am just going to say, like, this is entertainment. This is not, I can't predict your life if you were to stay or leave, but I'm just going to ask because it might help you make decisions, or it might give input. Anyway. Okay. So if you were to leave, this is what it would look like. And if you were to stay, this is what it would look like. Okay. So if you were to leave and if you were to stay. So if you were to leave, home, earth, it does look like there would be some peace there. There would be some balance. I think I almost feel like if you were to leave, it would be a very, very, I don't want to say mature, but it would be a decision that you didn't reach hastily. It's like you'd be taking the hard road. It would be hard to leave, because I do think you really want to stay with this person. But I see that you would be happy. You would be abundant. And with this abundance, maybe you would, have a broken heart, and that broken heart would turn into you throwing all your energy into something that made you a ton of money or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there'd be this path that you would go down, and ultimately, yes, before too long, you would reach this natural state of kind of like bliss and abundance. So if you were to leave, yes, I do not see that your life would fall apart in any way, shape, or form. And that also means that your person would also be fine if you left, because you're not going to be happy and blissed out if they're, just horribly dealing with life. So I think it could be fine for everyone. it's not necessarily what you want to hear, but it's there for you. If you were to stay, okay, we've got to make equal the equator. I also think there would be a lot of give and take. I actually think that, and I see this next to the Justice card, to make equal, I think that the two of you guys would have a lot of, I would say, work to do. I actually think it would take work, and I think it would take a lot of balance, a lot of give and take, a lot of talking, and you guys would both really have to want it. I haven't dug in deep enough to find out if you guys both really want this, and I still can't figure out if you have truly fallen in love with this person and should be with them, or if you did fall for them for reasons which I don't blame you for, but were somewhat superficial or self-serving, and now you're at this stage of like kind of obsession, and you want to win this game, you want to know you can get them, you want to know that you were in it for the right reasons, whatever. But I just there's almost like this wanting to win or achieve the outcome sensation. But if you did stay, I'm getting the message that there would be kind of like an equalization that would take place. And interestingly enough, I think a lot of the reasons you came into this relationship, I'm not saying they wouldn't be there, because there's a definite harmony and beauty to this card. There's a balance, but things would balance out. So if right now your relationship looks like expensive gifts and fancy dinners, I honestly don't think that's what like a real long-term commitment with this person would look like. I think it would be much more balanced, which would be good. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm going to ask for any comments or input you might have about this, because it is a very kind of bizarre reading. And I hope when someone listens to this from the beginning to the end that it actually makes sense, because it might not. But anyway, let me know if it does or doesn't, please. I'm desperate for any feedback. Okay, or if you subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever, I'm here for it. Thank you so much. I would love to read for you again, and thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you again. Goodbye. Bone Tarot, you are at my YouTube channel, and I just want to thank you for being here, because I'm just trying so hard to build it, and I just want to thank you so much. So you are here for a reading of, is this love or obsession? In true form, it is a very specific, I've had 3 very specific piles come before this, so we'll see if this speaks to you. But this is emerald, and it's like a milky, I don't know if you'd call it uncut, unpolished, but it is one of the few precious gems, and it's really beautiful. I don't know, just looking at all these cards makes me happy. Well, actually, the last one isn't like as beautiful, but like it's still interesting, so I get why people picked it. Okay, but I want to see you kind of your whole dynamic, this relationship. I want to see it in 3 cards just for the answer to me, like, is this love or obsession? I just want to get a snapshot of things. Okay, so we've got Queen of Wands, Knight of Cups, and 8 of Swords. I'll start with the 8 of Swords, because it's just one of those cards that like always calls out to me. It makes me think like you've isolated yourself, you've locked yourself off, you're kind of like, you're blind to something that's right in front of you, you're suffering for no reason. There's a lot there. Queen of Wands, I have this book, and they basically describe Kris Jenner as the Queen of Wands, and I love that because it helps me kind of get the fire and the like protective mama bear behind this card. And the Knight of Cups is actually someone who really genuinely wants to be kind and loving. It's like a romantic old soul of a dude on a horse, basically. Okay, but is this love or obsession? I don't know why I feel love, and I honestly couldn't tell you why. I just got this sense of like, oh, but it is love. There's something very sweet about this, and it probably is the Knight of Cups. And I did get a feeling, and this is, probably not going to ring true for everyone, but I do feel like the person you're asking about is younger than you. And I don't know, it's almost like they're a little bit obsessed with you, and you want to know if this is love or obsession. And I almost want to see I almost feel like maybe you don't quite see what they see in you. I don't know. There's something where I get the feeling that you're asking about your partner. You really want to know if they really love you. And I guess that's the question. Do they really love you? They clearly act like they love you. They act like they're into you. They act like they can't get enough of you. But you want to know, like, is this an obsession, or is this actually love? And when I say that you don't almost know what they see in you, I think you're very strong and confident. I think you're beautiful. I think there's something stunning and kind of actually captivating and powerful about you. I just don't know, maybe this person isn't typically the type that you would date or gravitate towards. Maybe their age isn't quite the type that you usually, or quite the age range, whatever. But there's something that makes me think that you don't know why this particular type, what exactly they see in you. So, maybe you're this like crazy intense vegan and they hunt for a living. Like, why would they want to be with you? That kind of thing. Like that one question is just like, what is this? But I do see you as being successful. I see you as being strong. I see you as being captivating. And I like you. You're fun. I would love to be friends with you. And I kind of like your dynamic with this person, even though I've only got 3 cards turned over. There's actually something sweet about it. But I want to get to see your person. Okay, so we've got Temperance. I'm going to do Temperance and Page of Cups. So I think they're treading delicately with you. I think there's a little bit of emotion here from them. I just think they're being sensitive. I really do. I think they're sensitive. I think they're delicate slightly. And I think they're treating the situation with a lot of like kind of respect. Okay, let me see you in 2 cards. Wow, lots of cups. Lots and lots of cups. We've got the Emperor and we have the 8 of Cups. Okay, well, for this, I can think of like a little bit of loss. Okay, you are definitely, okay, so I don't know why I go back to thinking they're younger than you, or if they're younger, they lead a more simplified life than you. And I don't mean that they're like dumb or they're a simpleton, but I just think that there's an element of complexity to your whole world. Very much like a Kris Jenner type vibe. I think you've got a lot going on. I think you might be seeing a lot. Like there's something high profile, high visibility about you. And as a result of that, you've been through a lot more. You're a little more even jaded, I would say. And I think you're someone who's kind of like type A, very much in control. I'm sure you're creative, but like I'm getting more of this like kind of like empowering type A personality off of you. Whereas your person, I think is quite different than you. I think they're almost like the opposite of you in a lot of ways. And I do think they're very sensitive, emotional, maybe needy, but I think you really like them. I think they actually compliment you very well, and you might compliment them very well, but you do go together very well. And I think you get along fantastically, but I don't think you want to jump in until you really know how they feel. Because you could have a lot to lose here. This could be someone that if you allowed yourself to feel like real love towards, you wouldn't want to get hurt. You wouldn't want to get burned by this person. And I think they're very kind and sweet and good, but I do see that you could get hurt. Not that you will get hurt, but you could like them enough that if it didn't work out, it would hurt. I'm not saying that I predict that you will be hurt by this person at all, but you like being in control, and you're good at it. And I feel like people pay you to be in control. This is just your personality. You're probably pretty domineering. You're probably like somewhat overbearing, but this is your whole MO. This is you. And, your partners usually love this about you, and this particular partner really does. I think they're basically obsessed with you, which is also kind of the question on the table. Like, from both of you guys, like what is this? Like, but I want to know if your partner is in love with you or just, I don't know. I don't know that they're in love with you yet, but I feel like they could love you. I feel like there's a genuine feeling of love. So we're going to get a little bit more of a read on them. We've got the 5 of Swords. Okay, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. So I Although the Five of Swords is a tricky card, the Nine of Pentacles is a beautiful card, but it's a card of like, of having, you know, there's the have-nots and then there's the haves. And this is definitely the card of the haves. This is a card of like, kind of like opulence. I actually think there's a lot more confusion behind your person than you realize. I don't want to say you could be like a sugar mama to them, but there is slightly that vibe that I'm getting, that you exceed them in like success, wealth, finances, earnings, whatever. There makes me think that you are like, you know, if we had to analyze the two of you on paper, you would come out on top. And I just go back to thinking, if they're not younger, although they do feel younger to me, I think they are just maybe more immature, less experienced, less life experience, or you just come from totally different backgrounds. Like, you know, maybe you grew up in the city and your parents were famous or something. Like, you've just kind of always been in this world of like things happening very quickly and fast movings and lots of money being thrown around. And they weren't. They, you know, say they grew up in Appalachia. I don't know why I said that. That's not nice to anyone who grew up in Appalachia. I'm sure there's a lot of money in Appalachia. And if there isn't, you're definitely not simpleton. So sorry, I did not mean to make that reference. I actually was studying Appalachia today, and that's why it was on my mind. And anyway, it's amazing and it's fascinating. Okay, so is this love or obsession? I need to see you and I need to see your partner in a card. And I want to know, like, I can't figure out which one of you has the most to lose here. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if you would lose the most, although I think you would rebound quicker, or you'd have so many like distractions, let's put it that way. But I feel like your person stands a lot to lose too, because you would be like someone they'd compare everyone else to. You have a lot going on. Okay, so let's see you in a card: rock, endurance, and your partner, ocean, outer core, fluidity. Okay, so you are strong. You are like, you're not just strong, you're very capable. And I see this rock, I think of like the pentacles. I think of someone who's just got this very solid foundation. Like you're steady, you're solid, you're confident, you're all knowing. Like you are just this, and with the endurance word on here, you will endure, you will be fine. You have all the resources, you have everything you need. And even if you were stripped of everything, I still feel like you're one of those people that would just build yourself back up and you'd be fine. I have a feeling money comes to you very easily for some reason. It's important to you, but it's just always there, and you always know how to make more of it. There's something, and I hate the term sugar mama. I cannot think of another thing here, but there's like a slight presence of that here, but that doesn't mean that this isn't love, because your person that you're with, they're far from a gold digger. I think they're genuinely intrigued by you, and I think they see something in you that maybe a lot of other people don't see, or don't get a chance to see, or you don't let them see. But yeah, your person, fluidity, outer core, I think they're just very emotional and kind of sweet and vulnerable and sensitive. I really do think that there's a sensitivity to them. And I think just looking at these cards, I think they really like you. I think they really care for you. With that, I think you could really like and care for them too. And is it love or obsession? Both of you guys had a bit of like possibly an obsession aspect to this, but I actually think both of you are like thinking how much you're almost surprised by how much you really care for the other, like how much love is actually here. And I think it's a little bit kind of shocking or off-putting to both of you, but I really do think it's here. And I'm going to ask Spirit, because I want to see, there's so much thunder. I want to see Spirit's kind of input of your guys' dynamic. Let's see what she thinks about this. Like, how would she size up your guys' relationship? And so asking Spirit, can you see this? Yeah, I'm going to put it here. We've got the Four of Wands, which is a beautiful card about love and romance and fun and ceremony. And then we've got the Eight of Pentacles and the Hangman. So I do think that she sees beautiful things for you guys, okay? I really do. And I see that together you guys can if there's like stigmas or boundaries you'd have to cross, I think you guys can do that in this relationship. And what I said earlier about this person being younger, maybe that's just like a way of saying, yes, they could be younger, but they could be anything that you're not used to. They could be, you know, the same sex. They could be someone who's a different religion if you never date outside yours, or like from another part of the world that you've never considered dating. Like, I just feel like there's something very different and could be challenging, or what other people might say wouldn't work. That's kind of like a stamp I'm getting on this, this dynamic here. But I would say that Spirit sees that there's absolutely a chance for like love, real love for you guys. I do think you're in a bit of like a holding pattern right now. You guys are both trying to figure this out. I actually think you guys are both a little bit terrified about where this could go or what it means. And, but I think you both have a genuine interest in like cultivating something here and really turning this into something very real and substantial. I really feel that. And I almost don't even remember exactly what I said in the very, very beginning. I've just gotten very carried away and like in the moment reading for you guys. But where I'm at right now is that there is a lot of potential for beauty here. So I'm going to take obsession out of the equation. I don't think, if there ever was an obsession, I think it was like a prelude to kind of like real love or a real commitment, real relationship. And I just see that message very strong here. And I'm almost going to end the reading shortly because it just seems like very powerful and loving and just good. Okay, so I do want to get a message from Spirit, even though we just asked her for 3 cards to kind of sum your relationship up. But I asked in the other 3 readings I did this. So these are like quote cards, and let's see her quote. I'm going to get advice from her. If she gave you advice, and this is, I can't even anticipate the context, but you'll know it when you see it. Like, is this advice what you should do, or to bluntly answer the question, is this love or obsession? We'll see what it is and you'll know it. So let's get advice from Spirit and be decisive. And I kind of get this because this is you. It's not that you're like hemming and hawing, but you're scared, you're nervous, you're unsure, even though you really do know in your gut. And I really think this is kind of like, have your gut check your facts. You're very type A, you know how to do that. But like, once you've made your decision, commit to it, do it. And don't, for lack of a better term, like dick this person around. I don't think you would. I don't think that's at all what you guys are doing. But like, be straightforward with them, show them that straightforwardness, that respect. And it also is a message to me, like, if you guys do part ways for whatever reason, I actually hope that's not the case, and I don't think it is, but I think this is someone that like having a friendship with might be difficult. Like this would be a very much like, okay, we're all in, or we're all out, or we're all in. But I kind of see you guys going all in, and I personally, from what I'm getting from these cards, really like that for you guys. So I can kind of see this as being an all-in dynamic. And I'm going to get one last card. If you guys did commit and go for it, and if we've decided in this reading that no, this is not obsession, this is love. This is love from both of you. You guys are both terrified. You guys are like these, like almost like polar opposites attracting or something. There's just something very beautifully different about you guys in so many ways, like your personality, your looks, your everything. Like there's something very, but just something very beautiful about your guys' dynamic. I'm really getting a very sweet energy off you. And this is what your relationship could look like in one card. I won't say will look like because that's so decisive, but I will say this is what from Spirit, what it could look like in one card. And I got this same for another relationship reading that I did today about what it could look like. And it's a beautiful, beautiful message. This is comfort. This is vulnerability. This is home. This is feeling like you've just arrived, like you're there. So this is a very positive note to end this reading on, because I think there's a lot of emotion between you guys. I think your person can bring the emotion, the vulnerability, and then you can kind of work your way towards that, which I don't think it comes easily to you. And then you can kind of show your person, like introduce them to a little bit, I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that right now, but I see how they could help you and how you could really like warm to them in a way that would make everyone very, very confident that like this is This is the real deal. So I am going to end it here after 17 and a half minutes, because I think it's a really beautiful note to end on. And I want to say thank you for watching and listening. And if you have any comments, even if they're not the best, I'm still open to it. I'll take any feedback you have. But thank you, really. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you can do. And I hope to see you again for another reading. Thank you. Goodbye.